Hey, welcome to Messy Church here in December. We're glad that you're here. I don't know if you know this, but Messy Church started in England and it has now come over the pond and joined us here in the United States. And so to celebrate, I spent one Christmas in England one year, and they would call this a nice Christmas woolly jumper. And so I hope that as you watch this video, that maybe you want to put on your Christmas woolly jumper and join us for this different and new way of experiencing God in the world. A couple notes about this. It is a longer video, and we hope that you will take time to watch it. There's some markers so you can know when exactly certain things are happening, so you can fast forward to the craft. You can go to the Breakfast with Santa section. You can listen to the story. You can jump back and forth and come back and do things at your time and your speed. So that's why those time markers are mentioned down below in the description of this video. And on our website, milfordhillsumc.org/messychurch. We're glad that you're joining us today. And if you noticed, I said Breakfast with Santa. We have a special kind of guest and interaction. We usually have this annual event here at Milford Hills to have Breakfast with Santa. Breakfast is provided. Everybody comes in their jammies. We do a craft. We have story time. And of course, good old St. Nick comes by for a visit. Couldn't do that this year, and lots of people missed that opportunity. So the people who usually run that, they provided a different craft for you to do. So you have 2 crafts to do this month, and there's some story time. We're reading 3 different books, and so it's a wonderful opportunity to join us this special December Messy Church Christmas, when we celebrate the birth of Jesus. So glad that you are here, and let's go to Messy Church.
Come to the place that's fun for all ages, Messy Church. Feeling God's Spirit move within us, Messy Church. With creativity, hospitality, we will celebrate with fun and food and fellowship. It's time for Messy Church.
Hello, I'm Betty Jo. Welcome to Godly Play. This is a special place where we talk to God and we listen to God and we hear stories about God. And today we have a special story to tell, the journey to Bethlehem. Everything's changed. We're now in the color of royalty. Royal blue or purple is used in the church at this time of year because it's a serious color, and it's a color for kings and queens. And we're going to talk about a king who was coming. This king was not like any other king, was not the kind of king people thought he would be. This was a king who had no riches, no armies, no palaces. This was a king who was born as a baby in a barn. That's the great mystery of Christmas. The king who was coming then is coming now. And that's a mystery. Sometimes it's hard to enter a mystery. This time of year, people are so busy shopping and decorating and going to parties. They don't even realize they're walking right through a mystery. They don't even know it's there. Maybe they don't know how to get ready for the mystery, or maybe they just forgot. The church learned long ago that it takes time to get ready for a great mystery like Christmas. It takes 4 weeks to get ready. So we're going to go on a journey to Bethlehem. We're going to go along with the prophets and the shepherds and the Holy Family, the angels and the Magi. We're all on our way to Bethlehem. on this journey that was not just back then, it's also now. So let's go on our journey to Bethlehem. The first Sunday of Advent, we celebrate the prophets. Prophets were people who came so close to God, and God came so close to them that they knew what God wanted them to say and do. The prophets knew that something incredible was going to happen in Bethlehem, and they pointed the way to Bethlehem. They said, "Stop, watch, something incredible is going to happen in Bethlehem." The first Sunday of Advent, we light a candle for the prophets, a candle of hope. So let's enjoy the light of the prophets, the prophet of hope. Watch what happens when we change the light of the prophets. It's in one place now, but we're going to change it. The smoke gets thinner and it goes throughout this room. The light of the prophets can go with you. Prophets can be boys or they can be girls. There may be some prophets in this circle today. The second Sunday of Advent is for the Holy Family. The father, Joseph, and the mother, Mary, and the donkey. They were on their way to Bethlehem. They walked all the way from Nazareth to Bethlehem. It took them 6 days. The mother, Mary, was about to have a baby. And when you're about to have a baby, you can't walk very far. Sometimes she walked, and sometimes she rode the donkey. But when you're about to have a baby, you can't ride a donkey all the time. So sometimes she got off the donkey and walked. They must have been the last people into Bethlehem that night. They had come from so far. They went there to be counted, to be taxed. This is the candle for the Holy Family, the candle of love. Let's enjoy the light of love. You see how that light is in one place now? I'm going to change the light, and it's going to get thinner. It's going to disperse throughout this room. Anywhere you go today, you can be close to the Mother Mary and the Father Joseph, the Holy Family. The third Sunday of Advent, we celebrate the shepherds. The shepherds were keeping watch over their sheep up in the hills around Bethlehem. They were trying to stay awake so that they could protect their sheep from the wolves. They were trying to stay awake and they saw a bright light. It was so bright, it hurt their eyes and it scared them. Their hearts were beating so fast in their chests they couldn't even hear that the angels were singing. And when they heard the angels singing, they calmed down. The angels were singing. Do not be afraid. Angels often say that because it's scary when a messenger from God comes to you. The angels were singing, don't be afraid. We bring you good tidings of great joy. A child is born, a child who will change everything. They said, run, go to Bethlehem and see this wonderful thing that will change everything. This is the candle for the shepherds. We'll light the candle of joy to remember the shepherds and the angels. When you're doing such a serious thing, you have to have a little joy. So we have a candle of the color of roses to celebrate joy, because you can't be serious all the time when you're getting ready for this mystery of Christmas. This is the color of roses to remind us of joy, and also to remind us of the Mother Mary. Because if it weren't for the Mother Mary, there would be no baby. So we have the color of roses candle today to celebrate joy. You see how the light is in one place? We're going to change the light so that it can go throughout this room and be close to you. The light of the shepherds and the angels can surround you along with the prophets and the Holy Family. The fourth Sunday of Advent, we remember the wise men. The three kings, the Magi, they came from the east. Wise men, or Magi, were people who studied the stars. They knew so much about the stars that they could tell people when to cross the mountain, when the snow would not be too deep, when to plant their crops, or when to go on a trip on a boat on the ocean. Their name, Magi, that means magic to us. That's where we get our word for magic. And people thought they were magic because they could tell them these things. They studied the stars and they knew where the stars would be in the skies. But once they saw a wild star, and it wasn't on their maps, and it moved, and they decided to follow that star to see what it would tell them and where it would take them. And they followed it all the way to Bethlehem. They got there late. They're always late. We usually celebrate the wise men on January the 6th. But they came to Bethlehem to see where the star would take them and what it would show them. This is the light for the Magi. The candle of faith. The wise men had faith and they followed the star. Let's enjoy the light of faith. I'm going to change the light It won't be in just one place anymore. It will get thinner and thinner, and it will mix with the prophets and the Holy Family and the shepherds and the angels, and it can be close to us wherever we go. Hope, love, joy, and faith go with us on our journey to Bethlehem. And look what happens when we get to Bethlehem. It's the color of pure joy and celebration. This is when the baby is born. It's such an amazing thing, this time of pure celebration. But probably the creature that was the most amazed was the old cow. Because when the cow came down for breakfast to eat some hay, he found a baby in his feed trough. Someone had put a soft cloth over the straw, and there was a baby there. He was so amazed. All he could do was stare at the baby with his big brown eyes. Something's missing. It's our Christ candle. Now we light the candle of Christ, the candle of peace. Let's enjoy this amazing mystery of Christmas. The Christ candle. The candle we remember all of the prophets, the Holy Family, the shepherds, the angels, the Magi, and now the Christ child. This is what we've been waiting for. Let's enjoy the light of the Christ candle. We're going to change the light of Christ candle. It gets thinner and it mixes with the light of the Magi, the light of faith, the light of the shepherds and the angels, the light of joy, the light of the Holy Family, the light of love, and the light of the prophets, the light of hope. And the peace of Christ makes it all an incredible story, a mystery, the mystery of Christmas.
And now hear the story of the first Christmas from Luke chapter 2. In those days, Caesar Augustus declared that everyone throughout the empire should be enrolled in the tax lists. The first enrollment occurred when Quirinius was governor of Syria. Everyone went to their own cities to be enrolled. Since Joseph belonged to David's house and family line, he went up from the city of Nazareth in Galilee to David's city called Bethlehem in Judea. He went to be enrolled together with Mary, who was promised to him in marriage and who was pregnant. While they were there, the time came for Mary to have her baby. She gave birth to a firstborn child, a son, wrapped him snugly and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the guest room. Nearby, shepherds were living in the fields, guarding their sheep at night. The Lord's angel stood before them. The Lord's glory shone around them, and they were terrified. The angel said, "Don't be afraid. Look, I bring good news to you.
joyful, joyous news for all people. Your Savior is born today in David's city. He is the Christ, the Lord. This is a sign for you. You will find a newborn baby wrapped snugly and lying in a manger. And suddenly a great assembly of heavenly forces was with the angel, praising God. They said, "Glory to God in heaven, and on earth peace among those whom he favors." When the angels returned to heaven, the shepherds said to each other, Let's go right now to Bethlehem and see what happened. Let's confirm what the Lord has revealed to us. They went quickly and found Mary and Joseph and the baby lying in a manger. When they saw this, they reported what they had been told about this child. Everyone who heard it was amazed at what the shepherds told them. Mary committed these things to memory and considered them carefully. The shepherds returned home, glorifying and praising God for all they had heard and seen. Everything happened just as they had been told. This is the word of God, God coming to earth and putting on flesh. For the people of God, thanks be to God.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all doing great today. My name is Mary Kay, and I'm glad you're here to join us. I don't normally wear cat tops, but this is in honor of Itty Bitty today and Liz to thank them for all they've done. We are going to make a wild and crazy star today. We're all following the star to Bethlehem. We're following that wild star, so I thought we'd make a star today. Star to follow. When you get your bag, inside you'll find instructions with a star on there to use as a pattern to go by. You'll also get some wires that will be taped to a card. Be very careful with these. You're going to need those to tie the star together at the end. But be very careful because you don't want them falling on the floor where your pets may get to them or a little brother or a little sister. So be very careful with those. You'll get beads. You'll get some special beads. Some unusual wild beads because this is a wild and crazy star. And you'll get chenilles. You'll need chenilles for this, 3 for each. And you'll get enough in your kit to make at least 2 of the 3 stars, maybe even more than that. We'll also include some straws and some little pieces of paper, little pieces of straws that have been cut up for beads. This is much better use for plastic straws than using them to drink with now. Our original Wild Crazy plan will be included too that used these stars. We did that a long time ago. So what you're going to do is take the chenilles and you're going to thread beads on them. You want to leave space at each end. And on the very end beads, you may want to use the bigger pony beads. And I'll show you why in a second here when I get the last couple of beads on here. Because you're going to want to tuck the ends in. And you can't get the ends all tucked in, that's okay too. You can wrap them around somehow and just make a design out of it too. These are really easy to make. Just about anybody can make these. And you don't have to use the beads that we're including. You can find, a lot of times you can find beads and things that you can use as beads around your house. Broken necklace or a bracelet and you wonder what to do. You just don't want to throw the beads away. Well, you can do something like this with them, then you'll have them on your Christmas tree every year. Okay. Now, one thing you can do at this point is to work these up underneath those beads. And this is just going to secure it a little bit more. And also hide the beads. And we're going to get the next one. And the next step is making it into a shape of a star. Get that out of the way for a second here, and there we go. And that's where your star pattern is going to come in handy. You want to get that point first. Then pull it up. And bend and woojle and woojle and bend. Be able to straighten it up more when you pick it up too, but at this point you can't just pick it up without securing the ends, and I'll show you why. Because with the beads that you have on here, this is what's going to happen if you don't secure the points I was telling you about. That's where the wire here comes in handy. You just pull a piece of the wire out and wrap it around to secure each point. Not the point of the star, but the tie points that will be indicated on a piece of paper that you'll get the instructions on it. Okay, when you get the last wire on there, then you're ready to put your hanger. And you'll have to take more time than I have with this one because it does take some time. You don't need to be hurried through this. We got plenty of time these days to do all kinds of things, especially following wow stars. That's the nice thing, we can follow all these wow stars. We just tie a simple knot. Then up here at the top, tie another knot to make a loop. And you can either leave it hanging or either you can tie a little bow. And your star is finished.
Hi everyone, I'm Pastor Kelly, and for our prayer time today, I thought I would talk a little bit about our Advent wreath, and then we could have a prayer around it. So the season before Christmas is called Advent, which means coming. And this is a time of preparation when we get ready for the Christ child to be born. And during this time, we have a tradition of lighting the candles on our Advent wreath at church. The wreath surrounds 4 Advent candles, and then the center Christ candle. The 4 outer candles each represent a week during the season of Advent. The center candle represents Christmas Day, when the Christ child is to be born. The wreath shape is in a circle, and this circle is a symbol to help us think about eternity. Does the circle have a beginning? No. Does the circle have an ending? No. It just goes around and around forever. This is to remind us that God's love goes on forever and ever. The wreath is also made of evergreen leaves. And this is to remind us that God's love never dies, because evergreen leaves don't die the way the other kinds of leaves do. And you've probably noticed that our candles are different colors. The blue candles help remind us that this is a time of hope. And also it reminds us of the color of the night sky. We have one pink candle, and this is a symbol of joy for us. It also helps mark the halfway point through the season. The color white, the color that the Christ candle is a color of celebration. And when we light this candle, it means that Jesus has arrived and has been brought into the world. Each week of Advent, we light one additional candle until they all have been lit. And in general, we light candles in church to help remind us of the light that Jesus brings to the world and to acknowledge that God is present among us. Usually at the end of a worship service, when we walk the light out of the sanctuary, it is a sign of taking the presence of God out into the world with us. So each candle on the Advent wreath can also represent a different theme for the week. Sometimes we focus on themes of hope and joy and love and peace. And sometimes we may focus on different parts of the Nativity story, like the prophets, the angels, the shepherds, and the town of Bethlehem. As you can see, this is a wonderful tradition that we practice, and it has a lot of meaning. It helps us to learn and to remember a lot of very important things about who God is. So now I'm going to go around the Advent wreath and say a prayer for each week as I light the candles. These are good, simple prayers for Advent, but you can pray them anytime too. So let's pray. Dear Jesus, you are the light even in the darkest places. Help us to trust in you when we are lost or lonely. Shine hope into our hearts, we pray. Amen. Dear Jesus, you are love even if we are afraid. Help us to pray to you when we are scared or fearful. Bring love into our hearts, we pray. Amen. Dear Jesus, you are joy even in the saddest times. Help us to praise you when we are upset or grieving. Shine joy into our hearts, we pray. Amen. Dear Jesus, you are peace even when there is hatred. Help us to forgive like you when we are hurt or wounded. Bring peace into our hearts, we pray. Amen. Dear Jesus, you came to be the light in our darkness. You came to bring your love in our fears. You came to be joy in our sadness. And you came to be peace in our conflicts. Today we celebrate your birth. Thank you for your saving grace. Amen.
Hi, folks. This is Elf Corinne, and I'm a member of the Crosstalk Sunday School class. And as you know, in the past, we've done Breakfast with Santa and really enjoyed it. But like almost everything else, COVID has changed how we're going to do this. But instead of canceling it all together, we're going to combine a craft, and we're going to read some books and do some things that will go with the Messy Church bag that you'll receive. I'll show you in a minute the craft that we're going to do, and you can see how we put it together. And then you'll have all the supplies that you'll need to make your own ornament. So first, we're going to read a couple of books. And the first one that we're going to read is Humphrey's First Christmas. Beloved, most beauteous and exalted King of all should be my name. Instead, they call me Humphrey. This I could bear if the worst thing of all had not happened. My dearest possession, my glorious carpet blanket, has been lost along the trail. Now I am never warm, and I suffer terribly. That is why I have set into motion a plan to replace my greatest of all treasures. I carefully nudge my nose inside the caravan master's tent. This is followed closely by the chattering of my teeth, thereby letting the master know that I am most enormously cold. Success! He has not pushed me out. and I remain hopeful that a new blanket will soon be mine. 3 rich caravans have joined us, and there has been talk of kings. Yet these kings bring me no joy, for they have tied 3 huge chests to my bare back. They are so heavy. I am sure that each must be filled with rocks. The other camels are wearing the finest of blankets. They are all comfortable and warm. Not one of them thinks about me, their cousin, in pain and misery because of the loss of my most precious carpet blanket. I cry out in sorrow. I weep. Today, I continue my plan to regain my treasured blanket. I add loud sniffling to the chattering of my teeth and squeeze my entire body inside my master's tent. As I do so, out rolls my master from the tent and is exactly camel-sized. It is as I planned. As the master chases me away, he tosses me a new blanket. I have success. Once more, I am covered with splendor and comfort. I am filled with delight. If it were not for the heavy chests I am forced to carry, I would be almost happy. We have followed one star for many long nights. Now our caravan enters the town of Bethlehem. Its streets and inns are crowded with travelers. My master gives no thought to my tired feet and rumbling belly. I am forced to move on. At last, we reach the end of our journey, but I'm confused. There is no great palace, no rich oasis, no palms heavy with fruit. I see only a lowly stable with a family inside. The 3 kings rejoice and rush forward to bow before the young woman who cradles a baby. Finally, the chests are taken from my back and placed before the tiny child. And as each box is opened, I see no stones, only gold, frankincense, and myrrh. In this land, I have walked past many children, but never before have I felt the need to walk toward one. Now I kneel before this baby shivering in a manger. Watching him gladdens me more than sweet water, fresh hay, or even my wondrous new blanket. I look into the baby's eyes and I am overwhelmed with love. I pull the treasure from my back and I lay my gift carefully upon this child. He smiles and my nose and whiskers tingle with joy. I am happy to my toes, and even without my blanket, I feel warm. Beloved, most beauteous and exalted King of all should be his name. Instead, they call him Jesus. Hope you enjoyed Humphrey. Now, we're going to read the After Christmas Tree. If you have a live Christmas tree in your house like I do, you might want to do something like this with it after you take it down, take all the decorations and ornaments off of your tree. It's called the After Christmas Tree. It was New Year's Day. It was time to take down the Christmas tree. I feel sad when Christmas is over. We had fun making cards and presents and baking cookies. Mom and Dad came to see our Christmas pageant. We had a caroling party. And we found the perfect Christmas tree. It was so tall, we had to make extra paper chains to fill it up. Why does such a great season have to end so soon? I asked Mom. Mom said, I have an idea to make it last longer. Let's have a winter party. We made invitations and sent them to our friends. We spent the afternoon taking the decorations and lights off our tree. On Saturday, we met at the pond. The ice was like glass. When it was time to go home, we gave everyone a bag and asked them to collect pine cones on the walk back. Dad made popcorn, and Mom said, we're going to decorate our old Christmas tree with treats for the birds and wild animals so that they will have enough food for the long winter ahead. We gathered around the table and covered the pine cones with peanut butter, and we rolled them in birdseed. We strung popcorn and berries, and Dad set the tree up in our yard. We tied the pine cones to the branches with red ribbon. Mom gave us nuts to spread around the base of the tree. When we were finished, our old tree didn't look so sad anymore. Then we went inside. Mom and Dad passed out the hot chocolate while we watched the party outside. There were birds all over the Christmas tree, and the squirrels were stuffing their cheeks. Mom said, our Christmas tree is enjoying its second season of giving. And that's the end of the After Christmas Tree. Maybe you can do some of those things with yours this year. The last book I'm going to read is called 5 More Sleeps Before Christmas. You know, I know all of you are very excited about Christmas coming, and there are lots of activities and places to go and people to see most Christmases, but maybe not so much this year. But I know as Harper and Caroline wait for Christmas to come, they always want to know how many days or how many nights it is until Christmas. So I thought this book might help you pass the time until Christmas comes. Just 5 more sleeps till Christmas. Can you believe it's here? I know that Santa's coming because I've been good all year. 5 more sleeps till Christmas. I'm not sure I can wait. I got good grades. I fed the dog. I even cleaned my plate. Gary's chew toy, Peppy, is helping me count sheep, but it's not working. We're still up. We cannot fall asleep. Just 4 more sleeps till Christmas and a visit from Kris Kringle. The halls are decked, the tree is trimmed, and bells are being jingled. The cocoa's hot inside the mug. The candy canes are crunched. The popcorn tin is empty because the popcorn's all been munched. Just 4 more sleeps, and then it's here. I have to go to bed, but visions of my favorite toys keep dancing in my head. Now it's 3 more sleeps till Christmas. I'm looking at the snow. I'm watching every snowflake thinking, oh, 3 more sleeps to go. I'm cozy in my bed with lots of Christmas thoughts to think. Just 2 sleeps left when I wake up, but I can't sleep a wink. It's 2 more sleeps till Christmas. Why can't this day be done? If I get just 1 more sleep, then we'll be down to 1. Just 2 more sleeps to get through, then Christmas Day will break. Just 1 more sleep plus another sleep, but still, I'm wide awake. One more sleep till Christmas. Is this day finally here? I put out Santa's cookies and the milk for his reindeer. I'm snuggled in pajamas and the stockings have been hung. The tree has been unplugged and all the carols have been sung. Just 1 sleep left till Christmas. The day is coming soon. And can it be? I think I saw a sleigh go past the moon. Today it's finally Christmas. I run down to the tree. I can't believe it. Santa came. These gifts are all for me. Merry, Merry Christmas. It's really, truly here. And now I start the countdown. Only 364 more sleeps till next year. He's got a long time to wait. There's 5 more sleeps till Christmas. Hope you enjoyed it. Good morning, Christmas elves. We're going to make an ornament as we usually do for breakfast with Santa, and this is the ornament that we're going to make. And guess what? It will glow. So let's get started. Inside your kit, you will have 3 circles that are on the back of the paper. The paper that you have has glitter on it. So I drew them on the back, and that's going to be the center where you'll punch your hole to put your light for Frosty's nose. So the first thing you will want to do is you will want to cut out all of your circles. And this is what they look like. Now, some of the paper had something printed on it for the price or whatever. That's okay. It's on the back. It's on the back of your circle. So everybody needs to cut out their 3 circles and also their hat. It is on the back, but the front is black. There you go. So that's your hat. That's all you need to cut out for right now. Once you've cut this out, you need to punch a hole. Now, you may need some help with this. You may need to get Mom or Dad to start it, to start the hole. I took a sharp pencil and kind of got it through. Now, the hole is going to have to be bigger than just the pencil point, but you can kind of start it and wiggle it around, sort of like that, to get big enough to start putting the light through. So there's one. There's number 2. And here is number 3. All right, once you have that done, then you can take your light, and there's a switch on the back that makes it light up, and turn it off. Now, it's not a timed one, so you'll have to turn it off when at the end of the day or whenever you turn your tree off. There's also a place excuse me, that you can open up in case the battery goes dead. You might be better off just to buy another light and take it apart if you want to, but you can replace it back here. So then we're going to take the largest circle and turn it over and thread it through the hole and gently push it down on top like that. Then you're going to take the next largest circle and you're going to do the same thing for that circle. You don't want to make your hole too big so that it flops, but you got to be kind of careful. All right. And then you're going to put his head on. This one's kind of hard. Being hard. If you make your holes a little bit bigger with the pencil, it's not quite as difficult, but I didn't want to get it too big. So that's what you have. After that, you have the 3 circles from the largest to the smallest on top of each other. Now, at that point, you have several ways to go. The first thing I think I would do is probably put your hat on top. Let me get some glue. I have found this Turbo Tacky Glue, Aleene's Turbo Tacky Glue, dries really quickly. It's nice and thick. It doesn't take much. Remember, I'm sure at school you've heard ... not a lot. So I'm going to glue, put just a tiny bit of glue on the back. Well, maybe. On the back of his hat. Just a tiny bit. There you go. And you're going to place it on top. I'm going to put mine right here. Lightly touch down. Now, since that's all we're going to glue right now, right this second. Then, with a pen or a Sharpie or a crayon, if you got it, or some type of marker, here he is. You're going to make 2 eyes. This is his hat. You're going to make 2 eyes. His mouth. You can make a solid mouth or you can make a dotted mouth like I did on this one. Let's make a squiggly mouth. Okay, and then you're going to start putting his buttons. I would put 1 on the middle circle and then put 2 on the lower one, as many as you want. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, now There's his face. Then, the next thing you might want to do, you will get a piece of ribbon that you can cut in two. Piece of ribbon, I've already cut this one into two pieces and sort of trimmed the ends. I'm going to put a little bit of glue on these. I think I've got enough to put on the back as well. And right underneath the first circle, uh-oh, his hat came off, it's not dry yet. Right under the first circle, I'm going to lift it up and I'm going to slide his scarf underneath. So there. That's where we are so far. You are also going to get two arms. Now, I've seen some who have drawn them on with a marker or cut them out of brown paper, whatever, but I've made you two arms that you can already use. So we're going to put a little bit of glue on his arm, and underneath the middle one, you can stick your arms. Now, you can make his arms go out. You can make his arms go up. Let's see, we're going to make this one's arms go up. Okay. Let me move this back. There's one arm. Here's the second arm. I'm going to go underneath this one. And do that. So there we are. You've made your snowman. Now on the back, behind his hat, if you have a hole punch, you can go behind his hat or use your pencil like we did with the other hole in the center, and you can punch a hole. Nope, I'm not in the right spot. That would help. You can see on the back, I punched a hole in the biggest circle. Then we are also going to send with you two of these reinforcements, just so your hole won't tear out. And we're going to send you a couple of them. And you can take and put that on the front and the back of the hole. I'm not going to put one on the front right now. So there you have your snowman. And then we're also going to send an ornament hook. You can use this, or you can tie a piece of ribbon inside. It doesn't matter, but there you go. And there is your snowman. Let me see if I can get him turned on. There's your snowman ornament. If you want to, you can also either take a crayon or some of your mom's blush, you know, the stuff she puts on them to have rosy cheeks. And you can take a Q-tip. This is some of the old that I had. You can rub a little bit on the Q-tip like this. And then if you want him to have rosy cheeks like I did on this one, you can rub it on his cheeks. And then he'll have rosy cheeks. Or you can take a pink crayon and do the same thing and color it. So there you go, guys. There's your ornament. We will send everything that you need, all the items and supplies. All you'll have to have is scissors and glue and a marker. But everything else is in there, going to be in your kit. Along with, we're also going to send some reindeer food and some games and ideas of activities that you can do during the holidays. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everyone. I'm Natalie, and today, what's better for the Christmas season than to prepare something that reminds us of the baby Jesus' birth? You can do it as a family and maybe even decorate a cake with the same topping. This is baby Jesus in a manger. If your family would like to make a happy birthday Jesus cake, this would be perfect to put on top, and all of it is edible when you're done. The materials that you will need to do it is some shredded wheat, the one vanilla wafer, one Nutter Butter. But if you don't eat peanut butter at your house, there are other types of cookies that would work just as well, maybe Milano or something like that. 2 full-size graham crackers, a whole candy bar, that's a Kit Kat bar, and 2 different kinds of chocolate. But if you only have one, you could certainly make do with just using the white chocolate. There's some white chocolate wafers and some chocolate chips. You could use chocolate wafers as well. And this is a pen that is for cake decorating and cookies, and it is edible. If you don't have an edible pen, that's fine. You can always write on your cookie with something else or put a little bit of your chocolate on for eyes. If you use something that's not edible, just don't eat that part of the cookie. The first thing you can do is go ahead and draw the eyes on the vanilla wafer. Add just a tad of one of the types of chocolate, and that will adhere the face to the body. Then you can take the whole thing and dip it or spoon white chocolate to make the blanket wrapped around the baby. It will take a little while for that to set up. You can leave it out to air dry, or you can put it in the refrigerator to move things along. And then it will be ready a little later. For the legs of the trough, make sure you put them both at the same angle. You'll need 2 sets like this, and they'll need to be at the same angle, a wider and a smaller. And the other set, just make sure that it is at the same angle. The flat side works a little better for sticking together. Just put a little bit of your melted chocolate and put the 2 parts together like so. Make another one just like it, and also give that some time in the refrigerator or sitting on the counter to adhere. These 2 pieces also, you can go ahead and be working on those. In order to have these at the right angle, I like to put them here and make sure that I have the angle correct for placing it later. You could also draw a model on your paper of how you want to do this, but you just go down one side and generously add the chocolate. I did pick the side of the crackers that fit together the best. Some of them are a little bit crooked and don't want to go together as well. But you put the 2 sides together with plenty of chocolate, and all of that can be put into your refrigerator with another set of the legs to be getting hard for a few minutes. When your parts have all stabilized in the refrigerator, you can put some of your chocolate to again kind of use it as glue along this and your second set of legs. If you have a second person at your house, it makes it a lot easier to do this step. You take the two legs and the trough itself, and it will stand very well if you have it angled just right. Then you will break apart pieces of your shredded wheat, make a bed for the baby, and put your finished baby in a manger. All of it is edible, and all of it's delicious, except for maybe the shredded wheats. Have a great time remembering that baby Jesus is the meaning for this Christmas season. Enjoy your time together as a family.
Merry Christmas. My name is Liz, and we're going to talk about our mission moment right now. You have probably noticed a lot of folks just kind of walking around town or hanging out at corners with signs, and they look kind of sad. And they are sad. They don't have a home to go to for Christmas. They don't have family. And they're looking for help of any kind they can find. So what we decided that we would do this month is do a blessing bag. And so in your Messy Church bag, you'll get a bag with a snowman on it, and inside it will be a chapstick, because these are really good in the winter, some hand sanitizer, courtesy of Meals on Wheels. It has a really nice smell to it. And a New Testament with Psalms and Proverbs in it. Now, what you can do is add things to this. A McDonald's gift card, or a couple of dollars, or a gift card to anywhere. And then as you are going around town, and you see somebody that looks like they really could use some blessings, hand them the bag. And that's all you have to do. And in giving them blessings, you will get blessings in return. Enjoy.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dustin, and I'm the director of the Handbell Choir at Milford Hills United Methodist. We haven't been able to meet for a while, so we have prepared a special video for you. I'd like to introduce the Milford Hills Lego Handbell Choir. This group includes 11 elite bell ringers who each represent a real member of our congregation. Let's celebrate the Christmas holiday together through music.
Thank you for joining us this month for Messy Church and our celebration of the birth of Christ. Once again, we just deeply appreciate everyone watching. Please spread this out to everyone that you know. Share it with friends and other families who might appreciate this new and kind of interesting way to experience who God is. On behalf of everyone here at Milford Hills United Methodist Church, we simply want to offer you the deepest and most heartfelt Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. 2020 has been one heck of a year, and we're glad to see it go. And we're glad that you have joined us over this time to experience Messy Church. And we hope that in 2021, we'll be able to do this in person and to interact with one another face to face very soon. But until then, please be safe, and please know that God, the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit loves you dearly. So let us close in prayer. Let us pray. Lord, we give you thanks for who you are. You are the babe who comes in a manger. You are the one that we offer our gifts to. You are the one that we praise. Guide us as we go into a new year, and may it be full of the hope that you provide for this world. May we surround each other, the ones that we love, our neighbors, and the world, with the love that comes on Christmas. For it's in your Son's name we pray, amen. Merry Christmas, and God bless.